In 1978, two amazing things happened that year. One, Simon and I were born, and two, John Carpenter released his horror slasher masterpiece, Halloween. Now, most notably in 2018, a new restoration took place, restoring and preserving Halloween with a fresh 4K scan restoration. However, this was not a perfect release. It definitely had its fair share of problems that Dean Cundey was very unhappy with. So the question is, if you already own the 2018 4K UHD disc, or if you own any of the Blu-rays that are out there, how does this compare to them? And is Shout Factory's 4K UHD worth upgrading to, or worth shelling out the money to pick up? Well, we're going to find out. So after 3 years, Halloween makes its grand return to the UHD platform from Shout Factory, which adds to it something that the 2018 release failed to offer, which was HDR10 and Dolby Vision presentation of the film, along with the correct aspect ratio of 2:39:1. Instead, that 4K had an aspect ratio of 2.35:1, which was the wrong ratio. And the image, the 4K, was sourced from the original 35mm camera negative. Now, Shout Factory brought in cinematographer Dean Cundey to work with them to perfect the image quality, bringing back Halloween to its rich, original theatrical look that both John Carpenter and Dean Cundey intended the film to be seen in by audiences. Now, I did notice, and I've heard some complaints about it on social media, that there's a slight bluish tint during evening activities, especially inside the houses with certain scenes. However, this is what it's going to look like, because they shot it day for night, meaning they added a blue tint to give it that night effect. So it's not really a problem with the transfer or the restoration. That is the look they intended for it, that little bluish tint. And the Dolby Vision and HDR10 does bring out the bluish tint a little bit more, but in my opinion, as I said, it just salvages more of the theatrical look that was intended by Carpenter and Dean Cundey. It's still not 100% perfect, but comparing this one to the 2018 4K, it is much healthier and a stronger 4K UHD presentation. Halloween now takes full advantage of the extended usage of deep shadows and darkness, securing Carpenter's visual intent of the film. We're finding the white masks in the darkness and the corners of the house in the black backgrounds is now seen more clearly. What really stood out to me was the use of fine details outside with the neighborhood and also interiors of houses. Facial close-ups look great, and also texturals really stand out much more, with moodier hues and colors, especially with the interiors. Another big improvement is with the highlights that are more distinct, and lights from things like flashlights or car headlights look much more natural and bright. And the jack-o'-lantern during the main titles presents a much more natural, saturated orange glow that looks fantastic. Shout Factory has done a superb job transferring this with Dean Cundey's supervision to finally give us fans the full, original, intended theatrical look of the film. And it's just great. I don't even want to look at my 2018 4K anymore. This is the definitive 4K UHD presentation. As for the audio, Halloween does include 3 audio options: a Dolby True HD 7.1, a DTS HD 5.1, and what's called as the original mono track. Now, I did listen to each track while I was reviewing the disc, and honestly, the mono mix sounds fine, but it also sounds thin, meaning there just isn't much going on there. The 5.1 mix sounds much better and decent, but it's really the Dolby True HD 7.1 surround mix that you want to go with. Dialogue is crystal clear, it's impeccable. The only issue I found is that scenes where obvious ADR was used is still very noticeable, but the biggest highlight is with John Carpenter's synth score. The music is a big highlight right from the start with the famous Halloween theme. It sounds bold and loud and sharp. In fact, I had to keep replaying the theme song and the titles over and over again because it just sounds so good. I'm giving Shout Factory's Collector's Edition to Halloween a 5 out of 5. I'm ditching that 2018 4K and the Blu-ray, and I'm sticking with this one. But there's much more. The 2 added Blu-rays also include new 2021 documentaries that includes new interviews, along with every single special feature from previous Blu-ray and the previous 4K release. This thing is jam-packed. The second Blu-ray disc includes the NBC TV cut of the film and an extended cut. Now, however, both of these are not in HD, they're just in standard definition and in 4:3. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, keep doing your part in keeping physical media alive, and I'll see you next time.